Welcome to Yury Experience, and today I want to talk to you about making time. I don't want to talk too good about myself, but I will. I am kinda good at planning. I'm good at planning, at time management, at coordination of my different tasks and different plans. I'm good at it, and I've always been good at it, partially because of my upbringing, because I had a lot of hobbies during all parts of my life. I had normally at least 3 hobbies in addition to a main kind of activity. School, then I had some kind of sport and also maybe some language courses and also music school. During university I had different theaters, I had different sport activities, I had something else, I don't really can remember all of it. Anyway, that only proves the fact that I can manage my own time. Obviously, from time to time, even I get a little bit lazy, which is why some of my plans will be thrown somewhere, and maybe I will come to them at some time. But overall, I'm kind of good at it. That brought me to this idea, not only that, but also some other discussions, brought me to the idea that time is not something that we find. Time is something that we make. We make time in order to do something, not really we find time in order to do something. Let me explain. That's actually what this video is about. So time is made and time is found. Where is really a difference? It is kind of complicated to draw a clear difference because both of these terms are kind of interchangeable, but in my personal opinion, time is found is time is existing already, and time is kind of lying around, and you're going around oh, time, I can use it for that, and throwing that in that direction. But making time for something is when you are actively thinking how you can change your plans, how you can change your timelines, how you can change your actions in order to create time to do something. So you move some plans around, so that I do there, and that maybe I do there, and then I can do 2 days ago, and then I have these 2 hours in order to invest them in that. And that is what I mean by making. I'll try to make an example. For example, you want to meet with a friend of yours, and the first example would be what do you do if you find time. And if you find time, you're just looking through a schedule and, okay, I have free time over there, I will just took this time and invest in that person. Without even thinking, without replanning and whatnot. But making time is looking through a schedule and maybe moving that a little bit, maybe switching this around, maybe putting this at some other point, maybe cooking 2 days ago, maybe deciding not to go to some hobby because you can, probably, maybe, and then you have this time for that person and you actively make a decision to find time for that person. Not just casually, I maybe have time in a month. No, actively thinking, actively working, consciously making a decision. That is basically what the channel is about conscious decisions. But not every time we have an ability and opportunity to do that when we are talking about time. There are 2, in my opinion, major reasons for that. The first one, we have responsibility over something, or for somebody, over somebody. We have that responsibility that we are carrying on our shoulders, which is why we don't have an opportunity to throw time around or to move our plans in the schedule, which is why we cannot make time. We can only find time because this is unmovable, so I can't time in between. I cannot find time in between. For example, if you have hobby and that hobby is your high priority, and that hobby is from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m, so you cannot move that hobby. You cannot, because that hobby takes place in exactly that time, so you cannot move that around. Or for example, your main activity. So my current main activity is my work, my job. And I spent around 8 hours at work, and I cannot randomly just go away without telling it to anybody and then come back and just nothing happened. No, I cannot randomly move that around. I can move that around to some degree, but not completely at random and not completely chaotic and however I want. That is the first reason, and the second reason is kind of the reason why I decided to make this video. That was the main reason for this video, and that is when we don't want to do something, to find time. We don't really want to do it, which is completely fine. I don't say that that is bad. What I mean is we are using the wrong sentence, the wrong phrase. What I mean by we don't want, it can be completely different reasons. For example, you don't have energy, you don't have, emotional capacity, you don't have, you have too much stress, you have some other interests, maybe you want to play computer games and not meet with a person, which is completely fine, but it is still your decision what you invest your time in. And that basically brings me to this idea. Most of us, not all of us, but most of us have time for pretty much everything. We decide not to put that time in these categories, for these targets. Let me give you a couple of examples. If you have time for watching a YouTube video, hello, so then you have time to practice guitar playing. If you have time to watch a movie, then you have time to go and do some sports. If you have time to watch TV, you have time for a hobby. If you have time to sit down in a bath, you have time to read a book. If you have time to do something that you don't have to do, that you decided you want to do, then you have time for something else that you don't have to do, but you decided that you can do. There is a question of priorities. There's the question whether you want to do it or not. And that's what brings me to this point that many people have time. They decided not to invest their time in something. And when these people are telling, I don't have time, I don't believe it. It is completely fine that people don't have time for something. Again, not wanting to do something is completely fine. It's kind of demonized by society, but I think it is completely fine. But it is still like that. People have time for every freaking shit in the world. In the end, again, short summary. In my personal opinion, time is not something that is somehow existing and somehow we find it. Time is something that we are actively working towards. Time is something that we are actively using and about what we are making active decisions. We made at some point an active decision to do something. We made an active decision to meet with somebody and whatnot. And there are two normal reasons based on my experience which will not allow you to work with time freely. And the first one is responsibility upon something, responsibility that you decided to agree upon prior to this moment. And the second one, you don't really want to look for that time because of different various reasons, which is okay. But people don't like to use that phrase. People don't like to say, I don't want to meet with you. People prefer to say, I don't have time for you. And let's be honest, that's not totally true, but people believe in it. Do you believe in it? You can write in the comment. I don't believe it, but I don't believe in it kinda at all. But that's at the end of the day, your personal decision. Which phrase do you use? I think you know where is the like button. I think you also know where is the comment section. If you have any questions or topic suggestions, you can write them in the comments below. If you want to watch more videos about social topics, about my development, about self-development overall, and about the development of the channel, you can surely subscribe to this channel. And except for that, I see you on Monday.